Hi there. Are you a practitioner of bodywork and massage who uses cupping therapy currently in your practice? Maybe you have a limited capacity to how you use cupping, working on the back of the body, maybe a little bit on the limbs, but perhaps you're not totally comfortable using cupping on all parts of the body or for all of the conditions that it can be used for. Maybe you don't even realize how many conditions cupping therapy can be used for. Maybe it wasn't covered in the training that you previously took. Perhaps you're an acupuncturist and you're understanding cupping really, really well from a fire cupping perspective, and you have learned how to apply fire cups and you use it on the back of the body using very deep suction and working with these deep stagnation or blood stasis conditions. But some of the finer, more finesse techniques of cupping you haven't really looked at that much. Perhaps you have silicone cups, you've picked up a pair somewhere along the road and you tried to use them on your own, but you just couldn't really get them working very well for you. Maybe you've been looking at some posts online, perhaps on social media, and you've seen some pictures of cupping therapy, of cupping marks, and you're going through some of the responses to these posts, and you're not quite sure what people are talking about or what their perspective is. And so you're just a little bit curious as to what else there is out there for cupping therapy. My name is Lisa Dowling, and I started my cupping therapy training over 20 years ago in my traditional Chinese medicine training. So the first way that I learned cupping therapy was how most acupuncturists are trained. I learned fire cupping, and we spent a lot of time focusing on safety protocols, indications and contraindications, and also the technique, the very intricate technique of applying fire cups on the body to obtain a deep suction. However, in this training, there was nothing explained about other levels of suction on a more superficial level for treating less intense conditions in the body. It wasn't until about 5 or 6 years ago that I started to work with silicone cups when I really started to understand what the potential for these cups were. Having a background in Thai massage and meridian therapy, shiatsu therapy, massage, and osteopathy, I really wanted to see what I could really attain with these silicone cups. What could really be done with them? So I started playing in my studio on clients and friends, different techniques that I learned over the years through my various training to see how cupping therapy could be applied with the same treatment principles. I've been very impressed and surprised with the immediate results and the incredible impact that I can have with my silicone cups. Not only that, but it takes so much of the work off of my own body, and at the end of the day I come out of the treatment room with more energy to live my life. To me, that's an amazing bonus. So what I'm bringing to you right now is an opportunity to learn with me for 2 days in my dynamic cupping techniques class. So this class is going to be dedicated to silicone cupping therapy techniques. And I'm just going to talk to you for a minute or two about what that is going to look like. Silicone cups are amazing tools because they're very flexible and they have a soft surface. So that means that we can apply the cups to anywhere in the body. We don't have to worry about bony prominences and surfaces. They're really safe to use anywhere on the body. I hear a lot of people say that they can't get deep enough suction with silicone cups, but if you have a good quality silicone in your cups, the tension on the cup is going to go as deep as it needs to get where you need to go. Once that cup has maintained its maximum suction, then the cup will start to cave in and you know that you've gone as far as you need to go. So we're going to go over the techniques on how to get deep suction with cupping therapy, but also how to find the right level of suction. And with silicone cups, it's really, once you understand the cups, it's really easy to start to work with the cups in a very natural way so that the cup starts to feel like an extension of your hand. So in this course, we're going to work on really specific techniques like treating abdominal problems, including digestive issues and reproductive issues. We're going to look at treating conditions like treating the psoas, which is a very difficult area to treat. It can be very painful. Using cupping can take away a lot of that pain. Treating really stubborn areas like IT bands, in again a less painful and uncomfortable approach to treating these areas. We're going to look at treatments like treating very common conditions like shoulder pain and low back pain with not only stationary and moving cupping techniques but dynamic techniques where we're mobilizing the body. So I'm going to talk to you about range of motion and mobility, and we're going to go a little bit into Eastern medicine so that you can start to also understand the basic principles of Eastern medicine, like heat and cold, like excess and deficiency, like stagnation. I'm going to explain what that means to you, blood stasis, and wind. So these conditions are going to be covered. We're going to talk a little bit about chi so that you understand when someone is coming from an Eastern perspective, what they really mean. Just enough for you to understand what the cups are doing on the body so you have a little more broad perspective of what the cups are doing. So we're going to go through all of those kinds of techniques for the shoulders, for the hips, for all of the major joints in the body, as well as different ways to approach treating the body, such as side lying position, face up and face down, so that you have a much broader range of treatment techniques that you can take into your practice. We're also going to look at, I talked about abdominal, we're going to look at treating scars, and we're going to talk about using cupping to treat degenerative illnesses. Because of course, you always have to remember, any treatment that is this effective also has the ability to create harm. So we want to make sure that we are always practicing without doing harm to our clients. So we're going to look at what that looks like throughout the course as well. We're also going to review proper disinfection protocols, cleaning our cups properly. We're going to talk about what are the most appropriate cups to use, but mostly this course is going to focus on silicone cups. So there are a few different types of silicone cups that we're going to do in the course. Mostly we're going to use these, but we also have these negative ion cups, which are really good for parking or pinning techniques. There's elongated cups, which are well known for facial cupping, but they're also very helpful in treating scars or around small joint spaces. So we're going to cover all of this in our 2-day training. So I hope that this sounds interesting to you and that you will join us in our dynamic cupping techniques workshop.